Hey, don't have a cow, man. But guess what? I found the new Jakks Pacific Simpsons action figures early at Target. Let's see what these things are all about. Hey YouTube, what goes on? And welcome back to This About Action Figures. Tonight, bringing another action figure review. If you've watched my channel before, you know I tend to stay in my lane. Well, guess what gets me out of my lane? Simpsons action figures. That's right, the Jakks Pacific Simpsons action figures randomly showed up at a local Target today in Pennsylvania. I was not even looking for them, saw them on the peg, probably made a weird sound, got pretty excited. These look pretty freaking cool. I'm a lifelong fan of The Simpsons. Never collected any Simpsons action figures. I skipped on Super 7. Never collected the World of Springfield set from back in the day. But these things look pretty friggin' cool. I got lucky. I found them. We're going to check them out tonight together. So we have Homer Simpson, Bart Simpson, Groundskeeper Willie, and Otto the bus driver, all in the first wave. Entire wave was just sitting there waiting for me. So if you see my videos before, what we'll basically do is take a look at the packaging. Then we'll open all these guys up, see what they look like up close, move them around, check the articulation, check the scale, and do my favorite thing I always like doing in these videos, which is to compare them to other action figure lines. Let's have some fun with these Simpsons figures. So as I mentioned, I found these at Target in Pennsylvania, randomly on the pegs. The entire wave was there. $12.99 is the price point. There is the barcode right there. They scanned very easily, no problems at all at the kiosk. They scanned fine to buy them all. Again, $12.99 gets you each one of these. Walked out of the store with the entire wave. Very pumped to have them. Packaging is interesting. Again, we'll talk more about scale in a little while, but they all do have Marge and Maggie on the top for the Simpsons family. On the bottom, obviously, legalese, barcode. On the side, we get our Lisa and part of Homer. Front, we get Homer and Bart. And the side, we do get a picture of the individual figure in the packaging. So if you do want to actually keep the packaging for these, you could do it, because the cool thing is you will have the ability to basically have the packaging with each of the individual figures' portraits on the side, as you can see right here. So interesting enough, we get two of the Simpsons family with two supporting characters, Groundskeeper Willie and Otto. One big problem with the Super 7 line, which if you haven't followed along is now defunct, no longer a thing, was that we got so many different variations of Homer and very tertiary supporting characters. We never got to actually having the core family. So interesting here, we did not get the entire family in the first wave. Getting, however, Homer and Bart, hopefully in the second wave, we will see at SDCC, upcoming the end of July, the rest of the family hopefully on display to at least get the core family and then kind of expand from there. And here's a look at the back. Each one has its individual character, but we do get a great cross-sell right there of all the characters in the first wave. As I began to rip into these things, I wanted to point out that, interesting enough, that once you do crack open the box, on the inside, you actually do have the figure, the accessories. We get the twisty ties right there. However, it actually is going to be glued to the back of the card. So I found that interesting, that this is not a loose piece. It is glued to the card if you were curious. And here are the Jakks Pacific Simpsons figures out of the packaging. They look really freaking fun, I have to say. And again, I did not collect the World of Springfield. Good buddy of mine, 6 packs of knickknacks. Check them out on Instagram and YouTube. Has pretty much the entire collection. They had interactive bases, the whole 9. These are not going to be that. Again, temper your enthusiasm regarding a $12.99 figure. However, for $12.99, you're getting some great accessories. They scale well together. And overall, they look really detailed overall. They look a lot like the cartoon, which is exactly what you would want. So let's take a look at the figures, accessories, and a close look at the figures themselves. And then we'll move them around a little bit and do some comparisons. And here are all of the figures, accessories, all laid out together. Let's look at Homer Simpson's first. We do get an entire box of donuts to kick it off. You know Homer loves his donuts. This does articulate, so it will snap shut right there. So you got your donuts. This will go about that far back. You can also kind of pose it halfway open if you want to. It also will close. In addition to that, we do get one donut already taken out of the packaging, which you can see it's missing one donut. And it has, of course, bites out of it because Homer eats his donuts, right? So there it is at the nuclear power plant, chowing down those donuts. As far as Bart's concerned, it comes with one accessory. That is his skateboard. One nice thing about the skateboard, it does have a peg He does have holes in the bottom of his feet to peg him right on there. Also, all 4 of the wheels do spin, so if you want to put them on there and give him a push, that will work. We have the nice red stripe going down the middle, green on the sides, purple wheels, and kind of like a teal look there to the bottom of the wheels as well. As far as Willie goes, Willie has some great accessories. He does come with, of course, this right here. He has to have his bagpipes. You know he's got to have those things, right? It's Willie, for God's sake. This is actually a really nice accessory. It's a pretty sturdy plastic. It's designed that he can actually hold it and also put the spout in his mouth. So very cool accessory right there. And in addition to that, he does come with a shovel because, again, he's a groundskeeper, right? So he's doing work at Springfield Elementary School. So there is the shovel. Again, just basic plastic, nothing crazy, nothing fancy. But you can definitely get him in some cool poses, digging a hole, digging a ditch, right? And then finally for Otto, we do get his electric guitar. Very cool right there. So he does have some, I guess you could say accessories, but they are actually mounted to the figure. They're molded to him, so they're not going to come off. So we'll take a closer look at those in a couple of minutes. But yeah, again, just basic red plastic right there. No crazy paint, nothing like that. But again, it's going to basically get the story across, right? So taking a closer look up close and personal with the actual figures themselves, I just mentioned Otto, so let's take a look at him first. So one cool thing about Otto, I mentioned it's not really an accessory, however, it's molded to him. You are going to get his classic headphones. You do get a very soft plastic going on here for the cord, and then his Walkman is attached right here on his side. As far as I can tell, it's not meant to come off. I'm not going to force it. He does have the bracelet around the wrist down below. The orange hat looks fantastic. Of course, the hair sculpt looks great on this thing. Otto has that great, just very definitive hair as you see him driving the bus. So that looks really cool. Kind of has the overbite going off the teeth. The Simpsons eyes look pretty good right there as well. The shoes with the orange and the black for the laces. Again, you're not going to get anything crazy with these, not super detailed, but enough that it's going to get, again, the point across to be what you want it to be. Then on the back, we also do have the Jack-specific information going on right here. Interesting to see. And peg holes at the bottom of the feet if you want him, obviously, to stand on something with a peg like the skateboard. So keeping the supporting characters going here is our groundskeeper, Willie. And again, it's Willie, right? You got the mustache, the beard, the eyebrows, the hair in the back, the bald head on top. The jumpsuit's looking good right here. You do have the hair for the lines on the forearms. One thing I will point out, none of the figures really have arms that go straight down at their sides. You know, it's going to kind of be, I don't know, some of them vary, but you'll see as we go, they don't sit flush. However, good enough. Again, colors are vibrant. One thing I will point out this guy, just so you're aware, is that when you do, actually pockets in the back look good too, when you do stand him, for some reason, he does not stand straight up. You kind of see his kind of a hunch going on right here. So you're going to have to bend the knees just a little bit to kind of compensate to get him to stand, or else he is going to fall for you. But again, it looks fantastic to me. Next up, closer look at Homer. And it's Homer. It's what you would want. You do have the hair up here that does raise off the head. That's a soft plastic. We have the lines on the back for the hair as well. The white polo shirt came out well sculpted. You have the collar going on, the blue jeans, the shoes at the bottom, peg holes again, the bottom of the feet for all these figures. So it's Homer Simpson. There's not much I can really say about how he looks other than the fact that it looks like Homer and it's going to look good on your shelf. And last, a closer look at Bart Simpson himself. Don't have a cow man, right? Came out looking pretty good. I kind of wish I'd done something different with the mouth right here. It looks like it's kind of open in a way underneath, but you can't really quite tell due to the design of the figure and the character himself. Hair came out looking good here, spiky on top as it's supposed to be. The classic orange shirt, the shorts, the blue shoes, the white socks. So again, the aesthetics for this thing, it's just a very matted, they're not very shiny. It's not going to be too shiny on camera if you're taking pictures using these things. But overall, they do the trick from what I can tell. Let's take a look at articulation on these things. So articulation on Bart, the head will rotate all the way around. It does not have any pivot or anything else going on like that. Shoulder will rotate all the way around. It goes up just past 90. You do get some rotation here at the top of the bicep. You get the single jointed going on right there with the elbow like that. The hand will rotate all the way around in a circle. You also do get a horizontal hinge going that way. A little bit up, a little bit down, not too much vertical going on. As far as the legs go, he will do a bit of a split right there. There is a knee joint on these things down here below. Kicks back about that far with the knee. Also, there is articulation at the hip. You can see right here, it goes about that far out, about that far forward, about that far back. The foot also will rotate all the way around. It's not on any kind of hinge or anything. You get a little bit of play with it, not too much overall. And there also is rotation here at the waist, so there's a swivel going on there. So basic articulation, what you'd expect for a 5-inch size figure, scale figure, but you can get in some pretty cool poses, and it really does pretty much look good as far as proportions go. Articulation on Homer, again, head will go all the way around. Again, no pivot, nothing up and down. Shoulder all the way around, shoulder out, again, a little bit above 90. You do have, again, some articulation going on right up here below the cut of the shirt. You do have the single jointed elbow, goes in about that far. It will go about that far out. Hand will rotate all the way around. Again, vertical hinge going that direction. Swivel at the waist. Knee, single joint, it goes about that far back on Homer. Kicks about that far forward, about that far back. Splits about that far out, not very far for Homer. I mentioned the rotation at the waist. Foot will rotate, no up and down, no pivot going on right there. So again, just more or less the same articulation on all these guys, but also take a look at all of it really quickly. Groundskeeper Willie, head all the way around. A little bit hard to go around because, again, it is on an angle. Shoulder all the way around, about that far out. Rotation here at the top, once again, by the bicep. Hand will rotate all the way around. Left and right articulation on the hand. Elbow, single jointed, about that far. Swivel at the waist. Kick forward, about that forward. Kick back, really not at all. Single jointed knee, about that far back. Foot rotates, no up, no down, nothing going on right there. So, again, I just keep saying it, same articulation more or less on all these guys. Let's look at Otto anyway. And here is Otto, man. Head will not rotate all the way around because you do have the headphones that do not detach from how I can tell. Arm does get somewhat encumbered here by the hair. It would go all the way around if you work it around the hair. Again, there's the elbow. You see how that moves right there. Hand all the way around. Swivel at the bicep up top. Leg forward, about that far. Leg back, not very far back at all. Single jointed knee, about that far back. Foot rotates all the way around. Swivel at the waist. So for $12.99, you're not going to get crazy articulation, but for $12.99, it's decent articulation. So I feel like besides the price point, the biggest question people are going to have is how these basically scale, how tall they are, so on and so forth. So before we compare them to other figures, here is my trusty DARE Drug Abuse Resistance Education Ruler. Bart stands at the tip of his hair just about a little below 4 inches tall, up to the tip of the hair right there. Let's slide him off to the side. Homer, Papa Simpson, bringing him in right here. He's obviously going to scale bigger than Bart, so they do scale correctly. He's going to stand, looks like just around a little over 5 inches up to the top of his tip of his hair, maybe slightly over 5 if you get to the curvature of the hair on top of his noggin right there. As far as our Otto Man goes, bringing him in right here, he is going to stand, looks slightly shorter than Homer. So we put this right next to him here. So up to, again, the headphones, the very top of the headphones right there, just about 5 inches, a little bit below that actually. Tip of the hat, probably even lower than that. So it gives you an idea right there on camera how tall Otto's going to stand. And then as far as how tall Groundskeeper Willie is going to stand, I'm not going to lie, I was only going to buy Groundskeeper Willie, but I figured the whole wave was there, had to get the whole thing. Here is Willie. Again, taking a look at it right there, I'd say he's just around 5 inches tall to the curvature of the top of his bald little head. So I'll give you an idea how tall these figures actually are. But to give you a better idea, let's say they scale with all random figure lines that we collect. If you're new to the channel, Marvel Legends by Hasbro are kind of my bread and butter of my collection. So here's a standard 6-inch Marvel Legends Cyclops VHS cell-shaded package X-Men figure standing with all of the Simpsons right here. So you can see a 6-inch figure is going to stand very tall as compared to these. And another Hasbro 6-inch figure, here is the G.I. Joe Classified Quick Kick standing with all the new Simpsons figures from Jakks Pacific. Another 6-inch scale figure, here is the Jada Toys Ryu Street Fighter II figure as standing with the Simpsons. And even though this NECA Ultimate Alf is technically 7-inch scale from NECA, he does stand relatively well with the Simpsons figures. He is taller, but again, a little bit closer in size. So bringing in some Jakks-specific figures, here is the Super Mario from Mario Brothers film that came out this past year. And I really didn't think about when I bought these that they would scale well together, but they essentially don't look that bad together on the shelf. And here is our resident plunderling here in the collection, Feral Cheetah, standing almost the same size as Bart here. So if you have any plunderlings, they can definitely get into some shenanigans with the Simpsons figures. As I'm digging really deep here into the action figure bin, here is last year's 2023 McDonald's McNugget figurines that came out in the Happy Meals as scaled with The Simpsons. And here is the Walmart 50th Anniversary Scooby-Doo Shaggy from the 2-packs. Can't recall what company it is. Was it Mattel? Let me know in the comments. The boxes are in my office. But they also scale relatively well. Shaggy's a tall guy, so he'd be taller than Homer, right? And here's another random comparison. Here are the Super 7 Reaction Series Beavis and Butthead as compared to the new Simpsons wave. You said Simpsons. And last, and as everybody loves to say, certainly not least, here are the new Jakks Pacifics 2024 Simpsons action figures as compared to the Jazzwares unrivaled AEW Orange Cassidy. Now here's the thing, Simpsons are yellow, orange is orange. You make the call. So final thoughts on these new Jakks Pacific Simpsons figures. They're a lot of fun. Are they $12.99 fun? Let me know in the comments what you think. $12.99 seems like a relatively inexpensive figure nowadays, considering your standard 6-inch figure runs about $24.99 at least. But for the articulation and the accessories, you make the choice. Is $12.99 fair? Let me know in the comments what you think. I think they're a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm going to go ham and build this entire series as it comes out and gets released. I'll probably at least want to build the core family once they do come out with Lisa and Maggie and, of course, Marge. My mind just goes right back to playing that Simpsons arcade game back in the day as a kid in the arcade, so I am partial to these. Also, considering I did not collect the World of Springfield figures like a lot of people did in the past, this could be something that does take their place on my shelf. So overall, I'm digging it. I don't have any buyer's remorse on these things. So let me know in the comments what you think. Are you looking to pick these up? Are they too small? Is it too limited of articulation? Or is it right in your wheelhouse? Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free for you. It does not cost you anything and helps us grow the channel tremendously on the march to 6,000 subscribers. While you're at it, go ahead and click that bell for notifications. That way YouTube should notify you and tell you when we post new content here to the channel, like our weekly toy hunts, reviews, and live streams. Leave a comment down below, hit that like button, and for daily toy content and daily toy updates, try checking us out over at Instagram and Twitter at disavowed_12. Hey everybody, if you're going toy hunting this week, please try to remember the 3 P's of the toy hunt. Patience, persistence, most of all, politeness. Take care, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing all of you at the pegs.